Tonight we're going to be talking about a bespoke dating approach using a billboard,
Rogue hippos,
the life of a deaf man and how porn can be unsatisfying,
sex with a fence,
and a man's God-given right to sail on the River Liffey.
and our dismay at being Bon Air's #1 podcast and nobody offering us thousands of dollars for sex. That was a bit long-winded. All this and more on this week's Celts in the Caribbean. Hello and welcome to Celts in the Caribbean, Bon Air's #1 rated podcast.
Yes.
I am your host, Alan, and across from me is...
Yunan.
We are from... We butted
I'm from
heads.
Ireland.
We butted heads earlier today. It was the
did.
start of the Six Nations, so Ireland and Scotland went at it, and it was a good game, actually.
It was.
Good.
I thought Scotland were fantastic and probably should have beat us.
A couple of schoolboy errors let us down, but yeah, no, it was a good game. We have a hell of a show for you this fortnight.
Yeah.
Or this week.
Well, it's still a week, but yeah.
Yeah, so if you have not joined us before, welcome. We're going to spend the next hour or so just wading through the amazing headlines of the last couple of weeks. We try to keep everything as true and factual as possible. No fake news here, or if it is, we'll point it out. We do a little bit of due diligence.
Yeah,
A little bit.
That's typically what the first hour that we sit in the workshop is about, making sure
All our headlines are coming from... I mean, I use top sources like
You do.
like the UK's Sun and Daily Mirror.
BuzzFeed, and so on and so forth.
But I
Board
think
Panda.
last week we had a record for me screwing up almost instantly. I think it was within the welcome I made a factual inaccuracy.
Yeah, it was almost. Yeah, it was.
It was within seconds. It was in the first minute.
Factual fallacy, almost.
I don't know. I got hate mail.
Yeah, but that wasn't linked to
That was nothing
your
to
fuck
do with
up.
that. No, that's just my
It's
my
just your
usual,
personality.
Just my usual amount of hate mail. Yeah, it was. I claimed that ugly UGLY was by.
Cleopatra.
Cleopatra coming at you, and of course, all those Daphne and Celeste fans out there were outraged. They were like, it was Daphne and Celeste that I went to see at Tea in the Park, and they were booed off and things thrown at
Because
them.
I know
cups of urine. So
Cleopatra would never get booed off the stage.
yeah, sorry about that, Cleopatra. It's Daphne and Celeste that were some poor teenage
Absolute
girls
shit.
pushed up there for a few dollars. But yeah, I have a cracking headline to start off with. Oh, I do have some Pornhub news later on.
Oh,
Mainly because it's becoming a bit of a theme, but we are on YouTube. And the only episode that has a massive amount of views, like 30 times more views than any of the other shows, is if we put Pornhub in the title. So we have to have Pornhub in a Pornhub story in every episode now, so I can put it in the title. And apparently that's what you're all searching for, you dirty bastards.
I do have a Pornhub story tonight, and that's what I was giggling about so much whenever I was writing down my notes.
Double Pornhub stories.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that. But my first story is about a Colombian drug lord. Who's your favorite Colombian drug lord?
He's pretty much the only one I know, but he's a solid dude. Pablo.
Pablo. This song,
Good
you'll
old
be
Paul Escobar.
yeah. Have your ears open because this story is about him. So we are coming to you from a factory on Bon Air, and there is
Not a cocaine factory.
Not a cocaine
sewing
factory.
factory, but yeah.
But there is a new restaurant opening up. Have you seen Pablo Resto Bar? Is coming.
Is this
to
on the
Bon Air.
island?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's a
Where is
terrible
it?
name. It's going to be down on the front beside the cruise ships. So the Pablo Resto Bar.
Oh, they're going to make a killing. Whoa!
Hey-o.
Sorry.
But will they be making $60 million a day like the real Pablo was? So here's the headline.
Wow.
Drug lord. We already know it's Pablo. So a drug lord's rogue hippos are taking over Colombia. So Pablo Escobar's legacy of mayhem continues. They like to push that a little bit. So by way of a thriving population of giant African mammals. I've already given away that those African mammals were in fact hippopotami. But yeah, so
And what
they're
are
an
they, what are they
invasive.
doing?
This might surprise you. They're an invasive species to Colombia.
No.
yeah.
Their migratory pattern didn't take them to Colombia?
No, but they are. It turns out Colombia is a hippo haven. They are thriving. So we have a few invasive species here. We've got. I mean, would you call the donkeys an invasive species? I mean,
They're not invasive, but they were introduced. Yeah, I suppose
donkeys,
they're.
goats.
Yeah, they're not. They're not from here.
Yeah, we got lionfish is the one that are actively hunted. Australia's got its cane toads and rabbits, and then zebra mussels. But
Ireland had a lot of English people for a long time.
oh right.
Yep. Yep.
But since 1993, when Pablo died, he had a 8 square mile estate, I guess, just north of Bogota, and he wanted to set up a zoo, and he had things like, well, the first thing it mentions is concrete dinosaurs, so that's awesome.
And are they? How are they dealing?
They have not reproduced yet, so they're under control, so they're okay. But they had things like giraffes, ostrich, elephants, ponies. Not really in the same league. Who gives a shit about a pony? Actually, a lot of people. Equestrians.
It's not even a horse.
I apologize to all our equestrian listeners and zebras. But most of these things, after they were shut down, the government took over Pablo's estate, ran it as a theme park, and then gave most of the animals away to other zoos. But I guess the hippos were too difficult to transport or something. They don't travel well, I guess.
Yeah, they get car sick, don't they?
Yeah,
That's one of the things.
And they're always doing carpool karaoke horribly. So they're just, nobody wants to be in a vehicle with them. But from one bull and 3 females, there's now over 80 hippos in Colombia, and they're in 155 miles, so they've escaped the breeding ground or whatever.
That's pretty terrifying. Because hippos kill more humans than any other animal in Africa.
Yeah,
on the continent
how
of
many
Africa.
a year do they kill?
30?
500. 500 a year.
500?
Yeah, man. They're way more dangerous than sharks.
They can get up to 30 miles. What is it? 30 kilometers an hour, is it, when they run? They look so fat, though.
Yeah. Have you ever seen one fart? That's impressive as well.
I have never seen
No,
this.
there's an amazing YouTube video.
I'm sure there is amazing, and I will look it up afterwards.
I watch it at least once a year, and it puts me in tears.
Is he in the water? Or?
No, he's in a zoo, and he's just like, there's loads of people filming him, and there's a little kid who's like, was that a fart? It goes on for 30 seconds. It is amazing. He's like windmilling his tail and everything. Shit's flying. It's amazing. It's like, yeah. Anyway, back to these. Well, yeah. So that's the thing. They're serious killers, and people have been known to take them as pets in Colombia. So people are bringing them home. One was shot in 2009 when they were trying to reduce the population, and one was castrated. But there was actually a huge public backlash by the Colombian locals, and they're actually saying stop castrating the hippos. Castrate the politicians instead was their stance, which I think is a great stance.
Do you have any videos of a politician farting?
And none of them being castrated either. So we could try and get that on our YouTube video. Maybe that'll start competing with Pornhub as our most successful videos.
I doubt it. Porn seems to sell.
Yeah. And if anybody does check our YouTube videos, it is 30 times more, because most of them just have 1 or 2 views. So my maths is solid, but just I guess most people don't listen to their podcasts on YouTube.
I was going to start with the Arizona man who, instead of Florida man, this is what caught my attention. The headline was, Arizona man dresses skeleton as passenger so he can use the high occupancy vehicle lane.
For the carpool lane.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think this is a unique story. I think this has been going on for years now.
No
I've
way.
heard of stories of where people have used sex dolls, mannequins. Sorry, yeah, my mind went straight.
You just
Mannequins would make more
Pornhub.
sense.
Oh my god.
Wurzel Gummidge was in there. Yeah.
Oh my word. I don't. It makes sense.
Was
I
this
think
a
it's,
real skeleton though?
see, that's the thing. I think it was, but I don't think it was like his mother or grandmother or something. I think it was just like a skeleton.
Well, if I ever needed to use the carpool lane, I would automatically think about using my mother or my grandmother's skeleton. Like,
Yeah.
nobody else's would
But
count.
how many people do you know have a skeleton just lying around?
Science teachers,
Do you think he was a science teacher?
they always have skeletons in their classroom.
Always got skeletons in the closet, those bastards.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they're just-
Ah,
I know.
dad jokes, they just pour out of me. It's awful. I can't stop it.
So he was pulled over, arrested.
Yeah, he actually was. They caught him on the speeding camera, and then I think they issued him a fine afterwards. I don't think he was pulled over for driving with a skeleton.
Oh. He probably could have escaped from jail pretty easily with his skeleton key.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know, I'm
Leave the dad jokes to me, man.
Okay.
That's, I think we're gonna have to edit that shit.
I gave myself a migraine with that one.
Oh, did you see the high winds blew the border wall over?
I did actually.
Impenetrable it was. 30 miles per hour it was.
So this is the border wall between, well, the most famous wall.
Yeah. It's,
Take that, China. Your wall is
exactly.
gone into second place. The one between California, well, the border of America and Mexico. And I think
Yeah.
it was a piece of the Californian wall that
it was.
blew
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, it was in a town
going to
called
Mexico.
Calexico. And luckily, there were some Mexican authorities on the other side to take care of the situation, because there was no U.S. authorities on the other side taking care of the situation. They had to reroute traffic and make sure everyone was okay before the wall was stabilized or taken down, whatever the fuck. But it was a few trees stopped it, eh? But it's bizarre though. 30 miles per hour and the thing fell over.
I think a lot of it's in disrepair. I mean, so
This
much.
is a new part.
Oh, it's one of the new.
This is a new part. This is the fucking impenetrable. So like this is a big thing as part. We don't go into it, and we've said from the start, because there's so much to talk about it. But it
So
also
you can't
it's,
go over
it's
it.
super divisive. But yeah, like supposedly the wall has actually been coming along at an okay rate. Like it's just taking along. Portions of it are going up and so on, so they're making progress with it. But yeah, this is supposedly a new part of the wall that has gone up, and it's just.
That's what happens when you use American workers.
Oh god! Am I allowed to say? Yeah, they should use some Mexicans to help with it.
Just go down to Home Depot. Those guys will put it up for a tenth of the price. It's gonna be solid. Yeah.
An absolute fucking farce.
I have a fence story from Scotland. Bringing it home.
Oh,
It's the
what
headline.
are you trying to keep out?
This was from The Sun. So if you've never heard of The Sun before, it's like a British tabloid that is famous for.
It's kind of like the New York Times.
Kind of like New York Times on heroin.
Yeah, begging for change.
Begging for change, falling on hard times, and is just desperate for attention. So it was called
Oh, son of a bitch!
IPA on the floor.
Stop.
So the headline was sex offense, and you're thinking, oh, this is pretty heavy for Celts in the Caribbean. We don't want to talk about sex offenders, but this was actually sent to me. So this is one of our
So it's okay to talk about.
So it's fine to talk about. Now, so if you do want one of your stories talked about on Celts in the Caribbean, get in touch with us on Facebook or celtsinthecaribean@outlook.com. Send us an email.
Be a significant other.
It has to be true.
Like how it happens, and or just a really good mate.
Yeah.
And that's.
And let us know. So this one was sent in. So it's a drunk Fife man. So the mighty kingdom of Fife in Scotland was spotted by a couple, so an old retired couple. He was trying to have sex with a fence and a minibus.
At the same time?
Not at the same time.
I've never
Not at the same time.
never thought about a threesome like that. But
Give him a we'll give him a little name check. His name was David Bruce you'd think this is maybe a teenager where your hormones are just going crazy.
no, he's in his 50s, right?
He was 36 years old. This incident happened in Russell Court, Dunfermline. So
You are like
from
really
Dunfermline.
narrowing down the geographical
Yeah,
house number
David-
31 on
David is gonna,
Crabbit.
if this
Crabbit
is a fake news story, I apologize, David, but it was in the Sun, so there's a good 50% chance that it might be true.
Oh man.
It just came to light because it just went to court, so it did happen in May last year at 7 p.m. So it wasn't even something that happened at like 2 o'clock in the morning, like after
Was
a
this
mega
7 p.m. in winter or 7 p.m. in summer?
May, so summer.
Oh, David, what are you at, mate?
Yeah, beautiful time of year to try and have sex with a fence, no?
It's gonna be fucking light until like 9 o'clock. What are you doing?
So what he was doing, so he was urinating. The witnesses say
Urinating?
he was urinating on the fence. So this is a golden shower offense. Offense. So he was urinating on the fence, and then he started to rub his private parts up and down on it. And it was a wooden fence, which, if I'm like, not that I would try and have sex with a fence.
You
Don't
mean
really.
splinters, no?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
A little splinter up your urethra. That's not a good way to end your day. Well, I mean, he's just starting this evening.
Maybe
Who knows
he was,
what he's
maybe he
got
was on
planned for
night
later
shift.
on. Yeah.
Start your day.
And then taxi came along. So this is the minibus. Taxi driver. It wasn't even an empty minivan. Don Simpson, 47, who's a taxi driver.
Doesn't he also produce like the movies with Jerry Bruckheimer?
He might have been filming this for Tax Cab Confessions, but he was saying, so Mr. Bruce, or we'll call him David, I think we're
David, we're on first name terms now at this point.
He just went onto the front of his minivan with his trousers down. So this isn't, he's not rubbing himself with his through his clothes. Rubbed his private parts up and down on his bonnet for 2 to 3 minutes, then fell over onto the path. So 2 to 3 minutes, he give it a good shot, and that's
horrifying.
yeah. No conviction, and court is adjourned until February the 3rd. So I don't know if we will have an update for you, but obviously it's February the 1st today. A couple of days. Well, maybe I'm on tenterhooks. Can't wait to find out what happens with old Dave.
What a bizarre story, though.
Yeah. That's what this show's all about. Have you ever listened to it? It's all about bizarre stories.
I'm telling you, man. That's crazy. Did you see the Brexit 50p?
Yes, I saw it was out and about.
It's missing an Oxford comma.
No.
But who gives a fuck about an Oxford comma?
Not the independent UK, apparently.
Oh, it's a song by Vampire Weekend. But yeah.
Oh.
Who gives a fuck about an Oxford comma? Yeah. But this guy seemingly is really pissed off about it. And but for me, I think the main thing about why you would be pissed off is the monologue or the writing on it is peace, prosperity, and friendship with all nations. Surely that's what the European Union was to it.
Well, I guess they're trying to build a bridge now. It's okay,
We just broke down that bridge, guys, but we're going to build another one 10 feet away.
It's going to be an interesting few weeks. But this wasn't the first 50p, because they had one ready for when we were meant to originally do Brexit, like whenever it was in the 1920s or whatever. So about a year ago, they made a ton of 50p's, the commemorative 50p, and obviously it had the wrong date on it because it never actually happened. So they all had to be melted down and just add that to the ongoing bill of how much Brexit is actually costing.
Did you find out whether or not Boris Johnson got his money for the Big Ben thing? Or is
Big
this one of
Ben.
your stories?
No,
Because
it's not. I didn't.
He wanted it. He went crowdfunding for 500,000 to get the chime.
Can we remember it? It was bung a bob for a Big Ben bong.
Exactly. Good for you.
I don't know.
No. Okay.
I don't know if Big Ben. I feel like if Big Ben bonged, there would have been a story about it because it hasn't bonged since 2017.
Ben
or
hasn't
something.
been bonging in a while, so
No.
yeah.
And I feel like, although I didn't watch the news, I followed my Facebook feed and like watched a couple of parties and whatnot. But
Yeah,
it
how
was,
many friends do you have that are clocks?
all of them. 100% of my mates are clocks. Yeah, but
What do you got there?
I've got a few that have just quality headlines, and I don't think we really need to delve into them. I've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Would we don't need to delve into them mean that you haven't read them?
Just don't ask me too many
Don't ask
questions.
me questions.
Here's a good headline. Man masturbates on E-train while combing his beard with a knife.
Oh, fuck off. How can you comb your beard with a knife?
Well,
There's no... Unless the knife was like a steak knife.
wouldn't John Wayne do that? Oh, no, John Wayne didn't have it. There's somebody, one of the big Western stars used to comb his beard with a knife all the time.
Yeah?
Like a badass. Or what? Predator. The guy used to always have a cutthroat razor, and he was walking around like just getting rid of the sweat with a cutthroat razor.
Yeah, he
That
was
pretty
shaving
cool.
himself like constantly though.
Yeah. No, this guy was just hands down his pants, whacking off with like combing his beard with a knife. Just regular E-train. Is that
No idea.
New York? Probably. I don't know.
Is that in the US?
New York is, yeah.
We are learning a lot tonight, kids. we are learning a lot
I need to
tonight.
add education to our categories.
I think you should. I think you should. Did you see?
Also from New York. Or
Oh,
if you
go for it. Go for it.
Also, so we can have a little link. So apparently this Floyd Hayes, actually a bit of a legend. So in Brooklyn, it is a federal offense to ride any of the public transport while drinking alcohol or smoking.
Okay.
But so he's sitting there. I guess he's commuting back and forth every day, and he's always reading these warning signs. Federal offense: you can't smoke, drink without prior written consent. So it got in his head: how do I get prior written consent that I'm allowed to have a beer and a cigarette on my way home? So there was zero information. He just doesn't think this exists. So he figured. He tried to register a 6-pack of beer as an emotional support animal. So we've talked about this before. Like, I think the weirdest one was registering a load of bees as an emotional support animal. And usually it's to take on flights. But so this gentleman tried and failed, unfortunately. But he was trying to register some beer as an emotional support animal so that he would have the paperwork that he would be allowed to drink on his commute to work. And that was from the New York Post.
Such a shame.
Yeah.
And I bet you those beers went back into the shelter, and they're probably
Getting
in a recycling bin now
getting
somewhere.
Skinnier by the day.
Did you see the single man from Manchester taking out a full billboard ad for dating?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's quite funny actually.
Tell me more.
Yeah, this guy called Mark. He
Hey, Mark.
Hey Mark. He was sitting in the pub with his mate one night. They're having a few beers, and they're like, Jesus Christ, it's really hard on these dating apps. It's getting more and more difficult. I thought that wasn't a thing. I thought like it was easy sex, but anyway.
Well, I think
dating wise maybe might have been more difficult. So he's like, this is really difficult to find a girl. And then his mate's like, why don't you put up a billboard? Then they laughed about it. Then Mark took it seriously and spent £445 on a billboard ad, which was 4 meters by 6 meters.
that seems like a
it's
very good deal.
And yeah, exactly. And
How long does he get? Is that for a month or a week?
I don't know, but 3 billboards in that movie, 3 billboards, she like put down like fucking 20 grand or something for billboards. But anyway,
Location.
so this guy, he put up this one billboard, 6 meters by 4 meters, and it's just him like lying down, like, and looking directly into the camera.
You're doing a great impression right now, and it's
Thank
making
you.
me very uncomfortable.
I thought you were gonna say hot, because that's what he was hoping for.
My inner thigh is sweating.
He said 50% of the calls, or the people who emailed him, afterwards, were male, and he said, "This is not what I'm looking for, but I really appreciate the attention, guys. Thank you so much." But it's gone viral, and it's like fucking everywhere. So from this one little billboard in Manchester, he's got like a huge following now.
Boom.
So hopefully he gets
It's
himself.
it's never a stupid idea if it works.
No, and he used Comic Sans.
Ooh.
He did. He did.
It
was
my
a
respect
ballsy-
for him just went down a
It was a
little
ballsy
bit.
move, and personally, I think it worked because it didn't come across as like I suppose an advertising agency doing it for him. It looked like someone doing it in his own bedroom and really fucking desperate, and I think that's what he was going for. So
Was
good
he
for
using
you, Mark.
comics? If he was using Comic Sans, ironically, a little bit, and showing his fun side.
His fun side.
alright.
Show your fun side with fonts.
Why not? Why not?
That should be a day.
Good for you, Mark.
Yeah, good for you, Mark.
What have I got? So now that we're 18 episodes deep into Celts in the Caribbean, and we've talked about influencers a little bit, and on Bon Air as being Bon Air's number one podcast. I don't know about you, but you getting recognized in the street?
No, the recognition is pretty good, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Mainly you're just listening to us, so people just hear us speaking in supermarkets and be like, "Hey, are you the guys that do the number one podcast in Bon Air?"
Sometimes I overhear people talking in restaurants about us.
But I was reading a story on the BBC, and we're pretty important influencers on Bon Air now, I would say. Like people respect our opinion, but this is all nonsense. But it was
No one respects your opinion, Alan. That's why we sit in the
This is
factory
why I set this
and
up.
talk to each other on a Saturday night.
But if so apparently influencers are not. I don't know if it was essentially complaining, but there's a story on the BBC, an expose that I don't know if you've experienced this yet, but people are being offered thousands of dollars for sex. So essentially, you're being an Instagram model and being like, "Hey, blah 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 blah," wearing
Not
your
yet.
bikini, but these women, men, whoever, are getting bombarded with private messages saying, "Hey, for $1,000, will you sleep with me?" So my question to you, as being a celebrity on Bon Air, have you experienced this yet? Now that we're 17 episodes in.
I have not, and I look forward to the day of it. Then maybe I can weigh it up against a car payment or a mortgage payment and consider it really thoroughly. Then discuss it with my wife and see how she feels about it. But no,
Not yet. Me neither.
nothing. I don't think we've got the sexy bodies that they're looking for.
How dare you?
I dared.
I have a great cleavage.
Yeah, I know. I can see it. I can see it. I can't unsee it.
Yeah, I've not even been offered a pistachio yet. Like, I'd have to think. Oh, not everybody's going to know what that is. Or am I even...
Pistachio.
Pistachio.
That's why you never got offered a pistachio.
Because it's not a real thing.
No, pistachio, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a pie, essentially, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah,
Pie-ish
it's a Bonarian empanada.
Empanada.
Yeah.
Delicious.
It's fucking great.
Cool. All right, what else are we talking about, mate?
I was gonna say about the teenager with that managed to stick a whole harmonica in her mouth.
Oh, good
to
for her.
entertain her little cousin, and then she managed to get it stuck, and she couldn't get it out of her mouth.
Oh, I can see that. Like,
So-
just from trying to move couches and stuff through the
Yeah,
doorway.
exactly.
I
Perfect.
can definitely see how that could happen quite easily.
Yeah, so she couldn't get it out on her own afterwards, but of course, what is the first thing that a young person does nowadays? They start to film themselves in an act of whatever and post it. She had 7 million hits on TikTok. 7 million hits on TikTok, man. That's crazy. I don't fucking even know what TikTok is.
Right, we need to get some harmonicas. For that too, 'cause
It's
that's-
nuts. Yeah, but part of you or part of me anyway, feels like, do people do it also to gain the attention so as they can get the likes and get the views?
do it for the Vine.
Do you think that is a?
Yes,
I'm
100%.
cynical enough to think that.
No,
like,
100%. I mean, there's definitely ones that you can just see are just
yeah,
stupid events that you're doing to hurt your. You know, you're kind of going to get yourself hurt, like almost in the vein of Jackass. But there's also genuinely stupid ones. Like this, it sounds like she might have genuinely just been trying to entertain her niece or nephew. Or
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah, I can
But
see
the,
it.
the problem is that her first instinct isn't, I might choke here, I need to deal with this situation. The younger generations.
the problem
okay,
is,
now I need
where's my
to
phone?
film this.
Where's my phone? And
Yeah,
then yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, I think last week we talked about the condom challenge. I think that was from a while ago. So that was the one where you stick a condom up your nose, snort it, and then pull it out through your mouth.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple more, and you're right. Tiki Talk is the one that keeps coming up. It seems to be getting bigger and bigger. I used to actually quite enjoy Vine. That was like 7-second videos, and it was like
I never
almost
understood what it was.
little
so
7-second movies. Like
Yeah.
it was just little sketch shows. Like from the people that I followed, it was really funny. And TikTok, I think, started off as like a karaoke app. So you filmed yourself mouthing a song, and you could put the. But now it's kind of coming into just these short videos. And there's two that came up this week. One was from an old story from one of the made-up newspapers, where they just have fake headlines, and it was talking about how your testicles have taste buds. And so it's this fake news story that, like,
Oh my
you
god!
could
If you wanna-
could taste stuff.
If you
through
want to
your balls.
taste your lasagna,
Yes.
dip your balls in it.
And through time, it's got lost that this was fake news, kind of like the Bible. And then, oops,
Aye.
and through time, it was like it's come round as this was a scientific paper and people on TikTok or TikTok, what the fuck's it called? TikTok are dipping their balls in different things to see if they can taste them. The one that I didn't actually watch the video, but the headline I saw, it was like, so it was soy sauce. It was a gentleman in his car dipping his balls into
In
soy
his
sauce.
car.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he still lives with his mother. That's why he's.
Oh my word!
That's why he's dipping
What do you
his
do with the
balls in
cleanup
soy
on that?
sauce. Just be careful. That's my advice for all you guys out there in their cars. Like,
Just be careful.
just be careful when you're dipping your balls.
Yeah, in the soy sauce.
I didn't watch the video, so I don't know if you.
No,
like,
I'm happy you didn't watch
if
the
he
video.
got any
We can still be
a
friends.
salty flavor in his mouth. But that wasn't the only one I saw this week. It was not just ball dipping soy sauce. It was also the penny challenge. Did you hear about this?
No.
So this is another one that's come through TikTok or whatever the fuck it's called. And this one's a bit more. This one is a bit more dangerous. Like dipping your balls in soy sauce, just a bit of fun, unless somebody like chows
Eats the
down
soy
on it and
sauce afterwards.
Thinks it's a fish ball or something. But this one is where I think your phone charger. So you're plugging your phone in the wall.
Okay.
And you plug it in loosely, and then you drop a penny between the wall socket and your phone charger. Oh my god! And then film the results. And so there's as you can imagine, there's some of them are like a little spark here or there, and then some of them are like causing big
House
explosions.
fires.
Yeah, there's a 12-year-old. There's a picture of a 12-year-old that's just from his midriff up is just his face is okay, but just all his chest and his arms
my
are all
word.
burnt because it's just like been, I guess, an electrical shock / electrical burns all over his body, and these kinds of things. Like,
How, as a parent, right? How would you be able to go about, like, stopping your child from being such a fucking idiot?
oh, physical abuse would be my advice to all those dads out there.
Bring
Just
back the belt.
beat them into reality.
Oh, but that's crazy. But like, you know, you're teaching the ABCs, and then you're also like, and don't mix copper with the electrical outlets.
Yeah. I guess a kid is essentially a blank slate. I mean, I'm still doing stupid shit. I was telling you earlier on that I was like fixing my plumbing earlier on in the kitchen, and I took it all apart and had completely forgot that my fiance had switched the dishwasher on. So I'd taken all the plumbing out of the kitchen sink, and I was fixing it. And when I came back, the dishwasher was just emptying all the water all over the kitchen, which was awesome.
My God.
But I learned from this. But I'm 38 and I'm still making stupid mistakes. And
You've learned from this, but I don't mean to call you out. This is the second time. So, how much have you learned?
I need to relearn things. My
You
memory
just
isn't great.
Plumbing is not your thing.
It's all this.
Electricity is not my
thing.
thing.
Fuck.
I'm
Yeah.
terrified of it.
But yeah, common sense is anything but common. It's just like you have to teach them everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like we've talked about kids for a little bit, so we should probably at least sandwich a story before we speak about Pornhub for the first time this evening.
Yeah, I think
But
definitely kill kids before Pornhub.
yeah, I've got a sandwich story here. It's another one from Scotland. So I got a few Scottish stories tonight.
All right.
Police are on the hunt for a Perth man, massive pot noodle fan, who punched his neighbour for smashing his kettle. So essentially, his neighbour's broken his kettle. This guy couldn't make his pot noodle. He is furious and laid the heat, or I didn't lay the heat. He punched his neighbour in the face, because he wasn't able to have his pot noodle. I'm assuming probably sweet and sour flavour because they are amazing.
And what you're asking is this a normal reaction? Yes.
I understand.
Yes, it is.
I don't even know why the police are
Even
looking. They
involved.
should be arresting the neighbour.
Exactly.
Like, he has smashed the guy's kettle.
That meant he would have had to go into the guy's house and then smashed his kettle. Unless he keeps it on the doorstep.
He probably doesn't keep it outside. I could have a look where. Oh, I've lost my headlines. I was gonna delve a little bit deeper into this one because you had questions.
Oh, and I was told not to have questions. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, let me fill up this with 25 Scottish sayings. I'm not going to go through them all, but I will go through some.
Oh,
Now, these are go for it. You found it?
I found it. So he didn't punch him in the face or lay the heat on him. He punched him on the body. And this was Andrew Davidson.
Fuck you, Andrew.
I'm with Andrew.
Andrew's the.
Oh no, Andrew got assaulted. You're right. Fuck you, Andrew. Why'd you break the man's kettle? He was
Yeah,
just trying to
exactly.
have a pot
He's the kettle crusher, bastard.
noodle.
Can't even make tea.
It was in a hostel. That's why they're in the same room. So it was in Greyfriars Hostel in Perth.
And he also had another 10 roommates.
Oh, he was shouting, swearing, overturned a bin, no less.
No shit. Man, this guy shouldn't be living in shared accommodation.
Yeah. So Tina Dickey, she was the fiscal. She just not happy with him. This is a really boring story.
I know. I love it because you're just like, the fiscal. Oh, God.
This is why I don't read them. Like, the headline is more than enough than the actual...
It's
See, he
hilarious.
arrived home one day to find his kettle smashed at his front door. Mr. Stewart reacted and punched Mr. Dawson.
Well,
And the sheriff said it was very silly to get involved in this.
you're both silly boys.
You have a background and a history. I don't know if it's pot noodle related history. Blah blah blah. Either way, fuck it. It was. I understand this gentleman's plight. You come home, you want a fucking pot noodle. Somebody smashed your kettle.
I do love a good pot noodle. What I didn't like about pot noodle was
right now.
you could let that shit steep for a fucking hour, and then when you finish it, there'll still be dry ingredients on the bottom.
That's true.
That annoyed the
You're just
crap
not.
out of me.
You're not
Stirring
stirring
enough?
it properly. I'd add an extra bit of hot water so that I'd have a bit of pot noodle soup at the end.
Oh.
I would I'd throw caution to the wind and
You.
ignore the
Look at you.
instructions, and I'd go over the level. That little line, I'm like,
You're like, fill it to the brim.
to the brim. I want that pot noodle soup at the end.
Oh,
And if it was a bit
playing
weak,
dangerously, I love
yeah,
it.
man, if it was a bit weak, stick some sweet chili sauce in there.
Holy shit.
Game changer.
Your flavor palette was well above mine.
We should start importing pot noodles to Bonaire, and and that'll finance Celts in the Caribbean for eternity.
My wife has figured out how to make Indomie mee goreng noodles. Mee goreng is this brand of Indonesian noodles, and they are just insanely good. And you can't buy them on the island. But like everywhere I've lived, you could buy them, and I would buy them by the box. So I buy 30 packets of noodles at a time. And this was my diet in New Zealand. It was like Kransky sausages with cheese in them, and these noodles. It was a terrible diet. I gained a lot of weight, but I still crave them. I love them so much. But you're supposed to eat them with like just the noodles and a fried egg on top, and it's delicious. But we don't have them here, so she realized, like I would say about a couple of weeks ago, that we have all the ingredients to make it, so we just buy like generic noodles, like shitty ass instant noodles, and we use the vegetable flavoring plus a couple of different soys that we have, and it's the exact same, and it is life changing for me.
Awesome. You definitely shouldn't be on the marketing team for that, though. Because, well, in the last 2 minutes, you've described shitty noodles, that it's a terrible diet, and you'll gain a lot of weight. That nobody's going to buy those. You're going to have to switch that around.
No! People are gonna love it. You just gotta try it. It's Moorish. I think it's all the MSG. I'm not so sure, but I think it's the MSG. So I have some Scottish sayings. How's your $4.95 wine there? I can see you grimacing.
It sticks to the roof of your mouth and just makes you.
Must be all that glue they used.
Oh, it's not good.
It's not good.
I've been using I've been a bit cheap this week on the old. So we give free wine away to our guests. And I'm just testing this one because it's a couple of bucks cheaper than the one.
Good for you for testing it before you give it to someone.
I'm gonna have to drink quite a lot of bottles of this.
Oh my
I'm
word!
gonna give that to our guests.
Oh, you didn't just test it and then buy it. You
It
just
was
like
on
bought it all.
It was on special. It was like, oh, they got me. They're like
It's
limited
special.
edition, today only.
Is this the one like the store across the street where it's like the signs above the wines? No returns. Because
this one's
we
from the
literally have
well.
like returns all the time on the wine.
Oh, no wonder this was. This is horrendous. Where's it from?
It's South Africa.
South Africa, West Cape.
That's a good region.
Is it?
It's fruity.
If anyone from the Drakensberg winery, get your shit together, guys. This sucks.
It might have had something to do with like being 2 months at sea, but
Maybe, but it's like wine's usually good like for a couple of years. This is this is 20. Okay, fair enough. Sorry, Drakensberg.
So I got a few Scottish sayings, and I've looked them up, and I want to just see what your take on them is.
All right, I'm ready.
If you remember them, if you had them growing up, and what do they mean?
Okay.
Okay.
We have a lot of regional sayings, but I'm voiced.
Okay.
Ready to go.
So Failing means you're playing. We'll start off easy. Failing means you're playing. What does it
Oh,
mean?
that's the saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you never heard it.
Failing. I don't think I've heard that one, but I think that's probably just the Scottish mentality of playing sports, is it not? It's like
This is why I started with it. I'm so sorry. It seems really better now that I'm doing it, but it's better to be doing badly than not taking part.
Yeah, that's like
Failing means you're playing.
Right.
Money a mickle, max a muckle.
Yep. No, I didn't. Can I read it off your like?
Yeah.
I'm coming over to your mic. Where are you sitting? Oh, I don't want to see it. So it's many. So money a mickle makes a muckle. It's shit. Money a muckle. Many like many a penny makes a pound. Kind of like
Exactly.
Like
That's
save
exactly
save the pennies, and the pounds look after themselves.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
That's exactly what it is. You're all bumming parsley.
That sounds like it's from like Yorkshire.
You're all bumming parsley.
Bumming parsley.
You're a blowhard. I like that one a lot. I thought that was hilarious. He down, arse up.
That's just that's getting to work. That's being a grafter. That's like, to getting your head down, working hard. No?
No, sorry, I'm looking at another one. I'm so sorry. I'm looking at another one. Your bum's out the window.
Is that not when your bum's out? You're just you're talking shit kind
Yeah,
of thing?
exactly.
Yeah.
You're talking nonsense. Ah, man, you got it. You got it. Good gear comes in small bulk.
I might have to see this one. Like cover the other ones. Cover the other coming around. Good gear comes in small. This kind of sounds like a drug thing. No?
Yeah, it does.
There's like good gear. So good gear, like good stuff, comes in small quantities. Close? No.
Yes, it is. Good things come in small packages.
Oh yeah, that's the same. No.
These are great. This one's good. Sorry, I have to. Is it okay? I put on the accent. It's not.
Oh yeah, I'm not offended at all.
All right.
As long as you do the Apu accent later on.
Okay. No pass. You're the wee hen that never laid away.
So a wee hen is a young lass, a young girl.
Aye.
So that doesn't sleep around. So that hasn't like left the net. So she's like stayed kind of close to home.
It's don't play the innocent with me.
Oh, so she is a slut.
Yeah. All right, and the last one. A clean shirt will do you.
A clean shit'll do you.
A clean shirt will do you.
A clean shirt'll do you. I guess.
Fucking hell, this is crazy. You're
That's
not.
just like you don't. It's not just a Dundee shower where you like.
Links.
Yeah, just like clean. Like you don't need to actually get wet. Just a clean shirt, bit of Lynx, bit of deodorant. Wash your.
It's not far off. You're not long for this world. One more change of laundry, and that's it.
Aw. Clean shirt'll do you.
The last one, I'm hoping it's going to be good. You make it better door than a window.
Yeah, no, that one I've heard a lot. That's when you're standing in front of the TV or something, and like you can't see through a person. And it's like, okay.
In Ireland, we also have the same.
No.
That was nice. I enjoyed that.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun. Indian man died. So, just before I finish this headline, there's not many things I hate more in the world than people like abusing animals. Like that really pisses me off. And I think a few times in the Celts and the Caribbean I've had headlines that aren't happy headlines, but just make me giggle because I'm a little bit dark sometimes, and this is one of them. So Indian man dies after razor-laden rooster attacks him on the way to a cockfight. So this gentleman, cockfighting has been banned in India since I think the 70s. I remember reading. You might want to double check that before putting in your dissertation. But so he was on his way to an illegal cockfight. He'd already geared up his rooster, before he got there.
Yeah, he was in a wrong fucking fight with a chicken.
I don't know how they put the razor blades on the feet or whatever, if they super glue them on or I don't know what they do. But the rooster jump up and like bad luck or whatever, sliced the guy's throat with the razor blades on the chicken's feet.
And he bled out? Oh my god.
Which made me giggle. Sorry, mister, and your family, but fuck you. Don't cockfight, you dickheads. is the moral of that story.
Yeah. From death to pure cremation.
I'm intrigued.
This is also something I was giggling at earlier. It's the name of a company in Belfast called Pure Cremation. And they take your deceased loved ones and they cremate them. And this is a news story in the Belfast Telegraph.
If it was anything else, it would be a terrible name. If it was like a cupcake shop,
What is a little bit funny for me is like it's called Pure Cremation because like if you say something is really good, you go like, oh, that is pure class.
That's pure dead brilliant, mate.
So like yeah, and then they go Pure Cremation. Oh, whatever. Anyway,
I guess they're going for the more spiritual. This is a pure cremation. But yes, that's.
But this is actually a news story on the Belfast Telegraph, whereas cremations are becoming quite a thing in Northern Ireland now. Turns out we buried everyone on the ground, and people are trying to save money with cheaper cremations, having it done in time, and then a few weeks later throwing a party.
Especially for all the witches as well.
Yeah.
Like in Northern Ireland, cremation is the way to go.
The amount of stakes that they would have saved over that. I mean, that's enormous. This is my pièce de résistance for this evening. I don't want to blow my wad on it, but deaf man sues Pornhub over lack of closed captioning.
Oh. Sorry, that wasn't me coming. That was our two Pornhub stories are one and the same.
No, I thought I was so original this evening. Oh, that is hilarious. I'm so sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah, if you haven't listened to the show before, we don't discuss our headlines beforehand, so we were both surprised and amazed by the amount of or lack of research that we've done in the last couple of weeks.
And sometimes lack of. Yeah.
Go for it. Hit me with the Pornhub being sued by deaf US man.
Alright, so this guy, we'll call him Mr. Suris, Yaroslav Suris.
Is he a canal?
Yeah, the Suris Canal. Yaroslav Suris is taking Pornhub to court over lack of closed captioning for deaf people. He was unable to understand the audio. Sorry.
If they had a braille option, I definitely.
Oh my god, this is just such a ridiculous story. He's unable to understand the audio portion on the videos that he was trying to watch. And do you know what I love about this story? They tell us the stories, or the pornos that he was trying to watch.
Oh, the specific one?
The specific one. So,
he likes a little bit of a storyline before?
Yaroslav is a little bit annoyed that he can't understand the commentary or the dialogue from Hot Step Aunt babysits disobedient nephew.
Wait, say that again slower. Hot Step Aunt. I thought Step Aunt was the name.
Nope.
Step Aunt.
Sexy cop gets witness to talk and daddy 4K. Oh, and Daddy 4K.
No, I can understand. Like, I'd want to know what the sexy cop was like. What she got out of the was it a witness or was it the? What was the name of that one? The sexy cop getting information out of a witness, or
Sexy
was
cop gets witness to talk,
the witness?
and that's it.
Okay.
And
So
then-
the witness obviously didn't want to talk. So whoever he's grassing on is obviously a dangerous person. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I want to watch this one for
I
sure.
can understand. Daddy 4K. Allison comes to talk about money to her boy's naughty father. This
That's
guy
a
has
terrible
got some
title.
crazy ass search history, man. And I can't believe he made it so public.
Do we
But-
think he'll win? What I'm interested
Yes,
in,
I do think, but they
in a
kept-
very sad way, is I want to know what Pornhub's turnover and profits are.
Oh, it says it here.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh well, I don't have to worry.
Despite the current
wonder
legal
for
issues
very
with
much.
service, the porn service ended last year on a high, with its annual year in review showing that there was a whopping 42 billion visits to. Okay, 42 billion visits. What does
Yeah.
that make in revenue? Okay, yeah. I
Yeah,
understand.
weren't you listening to episodes ago when we went through all the statistics of Pornhub for
They're
2019?
actually here as well, eh?
Yeah, that's what I used. For
Yeah,
it.
it's the
It
same.
doesn't show profits or money though. So I guess they make all their money from
Advertising.
they have a premium, but I don't know why anybody would ever sign up for that. It must be through advertising. Yeah.
Yaroslav said the same. Why would I ever sign up for your premium if you're not going to give me subtitles?
So how is he suing them if he's never actually given them any money? Oh, I guess that no, you can sue people even if you
I could sue you for wearing that T-shirt.
I could put this. No, let's not go there.
I love this story. It made me giggle so much. That this, sorry, not because the dude is deaf, but a little bit because he's deaf, and he's wanting to get a storyline out of a porno. That's just crazy.
Well, there's worse companies you could sue, I suppose. Yeah. Well, good luck to you, Suez Canal.
Suez Canal.
If you don't, if you don't get any money, I hope you get your closed captions and you can find out what the plumber is saying to the lonely housewife.
that she needs her drains cleaned.
Yeah, and
that was it. He didn't even need to have the clothes. But Pornhub got back and said, we never comment on ongoing legal cases, but we actually have a closed caption option, so he could actually do what he is suing them for. Yeah.
yeah, okay. No.
I also don't know who.
Suez Canal doesn't know what he's talking about. All right, he needs to investigate a little bit more. Let's close it up. We're at 57 minutes. I've got one headline, just a quickie. It's not very interesting, but I don't know why I'm saying.
Salad, Alan. Salad.
Bum 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 bum. Tortoise found after being missing from 1982. I was born in 1981, so that makes it 37 years ago that this tortoise went missing. They were clearing out the attic. Boom! The tortoise was just fucking chilling
In the attic.
In the attic, chilling.
So
after
what the
30,
fuck was he eating?
like dead rats. Maybe it was patient zero for this coronavirus
Oh
thing.
my word. That's a pretty scarce diet.
Well, there's a coincidence that this tortoise was found in the same week or so. Yeah, I've got nothing to say about
I've
it.
got one here from. It's a story about a yacht captain in Dublin,
Okay.
and he sailed his yacht up the Liffey, but he was sailing really erratically, so he was. Someone called the cops essentially on him, so the Coast Guard came.
Oh my god, this wine is really bad. Sorry, Drakensberg. This is a terrible advert for your wine, man. It fucking sucks.
So he was in the Liffey, on his boat, sailing erratically, and the Coast Guard came to board him, and he was super drunk, and he's fuck you. I have a God-given right to be on the Liffey. And this was his like main argument, right? So this kept going. Then the Coast Guard had to call the police because the guy was so aggressive. The police had to come out in a boat and arrest him. And then they were like, well, he was drunk, so it's gone to court now. So this guy now he's going through a court case over it, but they never breathalyzed him. So they don't know if he was drunk or not. But they have all the CCTV footage. They have like him being like super belligerent and shit-faced with his mate on the boat. And it's just such a ridiculous story because
I'm
like
just eccentric.
Yeah, well, like he went back to the yacht club, and he started offloading bags of bottles, and then in court,
It's all circumstantial.
yeah, exactly.
Nah.
Like, that's the funny thing about the whole thing. He's like, I wasn't offloading booze. I wasn't even drunk. I haven't drunk in months. Those were European water bottles of the expensive kind.
Oh,
So he was
fancy.
he was just drinking like 20 Perriers a day, and the other guy who was on, he's like, I also wasn't drunk. We were just drinking really expensive waters all day, and they had left him to dock the boat when they got back into a harbor, and the guy didn't know how to drive the boat, so it was a fucking shit show. So once he got back in, it was like everyone had to help, it was like throwing lines and essentially pulling the boat to shore, and then he got off. The passenger stripped naked because he was so hammered
On water.
on water. So his defense now is, no, I stripped naked because I feared for my life being around the police. They might have thought that I had a handgun on me. Come on!
I've seen cops. That's a solid defense.
I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos, and there's a lot of people in America getting shot right now, and that's just so funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I have my God-given right to be on the Liffey.
All right, I'm going to close us up with Katie Hopkins. Have you seen this story the last couple of days?
Brilliant.
Was Katie Hopkins, was she on
Apprentice.
Apprentice, yeah. So this is what I'm thinking of. So she is not, like, there's part of this story that kind of makes you warm to her a little bit before you realize what a massive gas she is.
Oh, she's a terrible person.
She's 44, so she's
So there's years for her to be okay.
years for her to
Get her shit together.
get her shit together.
She's a terrible person.
But YouTuber from South Africa, Stuart Perrier.
Hey!
Perrier. Yeah, that's his name.
And that
Stuart,
was our
not spelled
segue
away,
from the
right?
first Perrier
there's
story.
not a single U in your first name, Stuart. What's going on there? And your wine from Drakensberg fucking sucks. But hats off to you. Tip of the cap to Mr. Stuart Perrier. He's done very well for himself. So he has set up an award ceremony. And he went all out. So he booked a high-end hotel in Prague. He hired actors to fill all the chairs. It was like a 5-star meal, and he invited Katie Hopkins over to accept an award, the Campaign to Unite the Nation trophy. So she invited her over. I mean, they went all the way. So they actually had like a sit-down meal. Everybody was enjoying good wine, unlike fucking shit. And it sounds like Katie Hopkins had a really good night. And like she's quoted in saying, I'm not used to receiving awards.
Where
Shocker.
people are talking really nice about me.
Yeah, this was what made me a little bit sad.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
I'm not used to receiving awards. It's actually quite strange. It's strange to hear nice things being said about yourself. Normally, I'm just dodging fireballs. So it, like if you hear that out of context, it makes you like you're like, oh, this poor woman
poor lady,
is
yeah,
being
yeah.
like bullied, and finally she's being recognized for her work. But she's fucking a horrible. She's just a horrible person.
She's vicious. Yeah.
Then it goes on to show her like just bits of her talking about, the young lass Greta and making fun of her autism, just negative stuff about Asians, Muslims. Oh,
A huge amount of her tweets have recently been used by Donald Trump. He's just retweeting
shows
it.
you how
Yeah,
dark it is. So
she's a xenophobe. She's just not good.
yeah. But for those sharp listeners that are still with us, you might have, if you have pieced together the anagram of the campaign to unite the nation trophy, it was she was awarded the cunt trophy and he had gone all out, so there was like a massive campaign,
billboard with
massive
it was like C star NT, and then she's like receiving her trophy in front of the cunt fucking banner. Oh my god.
And it was just like, I've not had this much fun in a long time. But it just makes me wonder if you've like, she's obviously like got self-esteem issues, or like there's something not right there. It kind of shows like that kind of
100%.
It's that kind of thing where somebody's a bully. It's because there's something behind them. Like, I mean, she's obviously a horrible person, but it humanized her a little bit. Like there's obviously like something in her past has made her this horrible.
Yeah, you just got to read or watch another like 2 interviews, and then you're just like, oh yeah. This is her.
Yeah, what a balance. So tip of the hat to Stuart Perrier. Good work, sir, in highlighting what a fucking dildo Katie Hopkins.
What a fucking dildo.
There's another fireball for you to dodge.
That should be another one of the 25 Scottish sayings. Thank you very much for listening in, lads. It's been a fun evening for us. Alan is thoroughly enjoying his wine. And, I think we're going to peace out.
Yeah, Drachenspurgen, if you want to get in touch and we'll do some positive, throw us a few bob, we'll maybe do some positive advertising for you after, like, slating you all evening.
Yeah. All right, guys.
We're not sellouts. All right. Not yet. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Cheers from Bon Air, and we'll see you again soon.
Later.